This is the Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, the Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Clint Rasmussen joining us here on the Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weight. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course, at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
the Jason Walker Show.
Hey, what up? Happy Tuesday. The Jason Walker Show inside the Above All Handyman Services Man Cave. Appreciate those guys hopping on board. If you need anything around your house done, top to bottom, inside and out, they will get it done at Above All Handyman Services. Coming up today, the exclusive first interview with Clint Layng after his, dismissal at Jefferson High a week ago. And we have some news on that as well. Plus, we'll talk to Mya Hansen, the Billings Central standout, who's now headed to Boise. She will join us coming up. You can watch the show on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can listen on Podbean, Network One Sports, Treasure, StateRadio.com. And as always, you can weigh in anytime at JWalkerSports. Email Jason at JasonWalkerShow.com. Opening segment brought to you by Montana Custom Log Homes, the premier log home company in the industry with three distinct divisions, so you can create the log home of your dreams and your budget. You've got milled, you've got handcrafted, and you've got timber frame. Check them out at yourcustomlog.com to get started today. We'll get to the big news about Clint Layng here in a second, and we'll hear from Coach Layng coming up in about 10 minutes or so. But did want to mention this, saw this today, and it's kind of a little bit of a shock, but the great Brian Crosby has resigned as the head girls basketball coach up at CMR after 17 years, 9 as head coach, and reached the state AA tournament 5 times. 9-9 last year, 4th place, went 2-3 at state. And it'll be interesting to see where CMR goes. Coach Crosby, a great, great guy, great coach. Coached some really good players up there at CMR as well. So he will definitely be missed. And best of luck, Coach. I know he's got the little one he takes everywhere. It's fun to watch them on the his stories on social media with his little one. So, all right. So the big news coming out that there will be a special board meeting at Jefferson High Monday night in 6 nights at 7 p.m. at the high school. And it's a special board meeting. It's not I think the board, this is a positive thing, even though they still haven't got back to us. But I think the board recognized, we screwed up at Jefferson. And hopefully a wrong will be righted coming up Monday night. We'll talk to Clint Layng here in a moment about that. But a lot of support has been rolling in. And you can still send emails, clnordahl@yahoo.com, if you want to support Coach Layng. And the amount of support he's gotten over the last 6 days has been unbelievable. And rightfully so. I mean, the dude's a great teacher. He's a great coach. He's a great person. And you've heard that, not only from me, but you've seen it. Bill Foley, ButteSports.com, had a great article. Was it last week about the Anaconda coaches wrongfully let go? Well, one, and then another one resigned following that. But then today's article from Bill Foley is phenomenal. And it talks about the impact that Coach Layng and his wife Sarah have had on the community and the kids at Jefferson High. and how school boards are wielding way too much power. Now, they do have the ability to, it's at their discretion. And actually I got this today. So all contracts for employment require board approval in Montana, but they don't evaluate anyone but the superintendent. But according to law, they can accept or reject the recommendation of coaches or teachers. It's their sole discretion. And had that sent to me today by people who are very upset still, and rightfully so, of Coach Layng being let go last week and not have his contract renewed. And I mean, we saw it in Frenchtown last year with the football staff. And Foley does a great job, Bill Foley, talking about it in his article today. But at butesports.com, you can go read it. But boards have way too much power. We saw it in Frenchtown. We saw it in Anaconda. We're seeing it all over the state. And Foley actually got a hold of Big Fork coach Jim Benn, who went on record and was livid, basically. I mean, Layng has the full support of his administrators, Mike Moudry, Tim Norbeck. And the board voted 4-1 last week to let him go. And we've already called out the names. But according to Foley's article, Ben reached out, Coach Ben, to go on the record, quote, because he's concerned about the growing trend to get rid of good coaches for all the wrong reasons, end quote. Ben telling Bill Foley that a lot of times with small schools, there's agenda-driven politics that drives people to run for the school board. And they don't understand the damage they do. That's a direct quote from Jim Ben, the Big Fork coach. And like Foley said, we talked about it last week too. Lang's career, his reputation, and livelihood all, potentially compromised. Now, is it going to be rectified on Monday? We'll find out. But you look at a coach who was 62-36 in the last 11 years, reached a couple of semifinal games, and and lost their starting quarterback on the last play of the regular season, last game of the regular season last year before reaching the semifinals. And we all know coaches do not get paid a ton. Teachers don't get paid enough in the state. I mean, we know this. But the fact that the state is rallying around a football coach and his family, it says a lot about the impact that Coach Layng has had. You've heard it from, A.J. Ekman, Nick Winfield, Trace Latexier, along with, Chase Lewis yesterday, who played at Townsend and played against Layng while he was coaching there. And it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So a board meeting Monday night, 7 p.m. at the Jefferson High School gym. And it's going to be packed, I'm guessing. But that'll be May 2nd, Monday night. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, the exclusive first interview with Clint Layng. He will join us next here on the Jason Walker Show. The opening segment brought to you by Montana Custom Log Homes, the premier log home company in the industry, veteran-owned and operated, woman-owned and operated, family-owned and operated. It's a great family. Get a hold of Montana Custom Log Homes today at yourcustomlog.com to get started. Clint Layng, next on the show. Jason Walker Show.
Strength, beauty, grit, superior craftsmanship. Our homes have it all. At Montana Custom Log Homes, if you can dream it, we can build it. With 3 divisions and over 50 years experience, we've got you covered. From a showcase home to a small cabin, we make your vision a reality. Because every cowboy wants a castle for his queen. Montana Custom Log Homes, crafting homes that last for generations.
Father's Day is coming fast, and what more would that great dad in your life want than a full detail from Auto Concepts? Or maybe he would just prefer a lift kit. It's also camping season, and now is the perfect time to outfit that rig with a winch just in case. Auto Concepts is your home for everything for your vehicle, including updating your car stereo system too. Auto Concepts also has gift certificates for dad or yourself. Visit AutoConceptsHelena.com. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at CAFÉ ZYDECO. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, CAFÉ ZYDECO has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. CAFÉ ZYDECO will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. CAFÉ ZYDECO is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients, along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $289. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show on a Tuesday. Mya Hansen set to join us a little bit later on this day in history coming up as well, and the walk-off. This segment brought to you by Rucker's Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn in Helena. All right, so a week ago we found out that Clint Layng not renewed at Jefferson as the head football coach. School board making a bad decision, and they will hold a special board meeting on Monday night at the Jefferson High School gym at 7 p.m. And been in contact with Coach Layng ever since last Tuesday night when we found out. How did he find out? And who does he have going? Well, where does he have Troy Anderson going? We're going to talk a little NFL draft, too, with Coach Layng. But all the big news comes from his being let go. And for the first time since then, Clint Layng is speaking out. And he joins us now here on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. Clint Layng on the Jason Walker Show. All right, Coach. It's been a one of those weeks. Since I guess it was last Tuesday. Before we get started on that, there is a special meeting on Monday I wanted to bring up. That's a positive, I think, to a lot of us.
Yeah, I heard about it a couple hours ago, and I agree with you on that.
Clint Layng joining us, the Jefferson High teacher and football coach, former basketball coach as well. All right, it's been a week. How did you find out that the board did not renew your contract?
I was at a track meet at East Helena watching my daughter, and I just got home. I went in the garage to feed the dogs and then let them out. And in the process, I was talking to my good friend Tyler Emmert on the phone about some softball stuff. And then Mr. Norbeck came pulling in my driveway, and I could tell something was wrong. So I told Tyler, hey, I got to go. My superintendent's here. So Mr. Norbeck gets out of his car, And he just tells me right there, he goes that I was not renewed as head football coach. And it really like struck me, you know, hard, like blindsided. At first I didn't even know what to say. I just kind of leaned over and I think I grabbed my knees and kind of threw my hat off. And then I kind of stood up and I said, I think the first thing I said was, no way. I go, how's this even possible? And then I was pretty emotional and I just told him, I go, you know, we went to the semifinals with tons of injuries and playing a freshman at quarterback through the playoffs. And my evaluation with Mr. Moudry and the athletic director was good. I had numerous parents thank me after the season. Our awards banquet was awesome. And I was just blown away. And then my two younger daughters were at home and they kind of came outside and they knew something was wrong. And then they went back in the house and come to find out later, my youngest daughter went and called one of her best friends, totally upset and like afraid we're going to have to move. I didn't find this out till later, till I talked to my youngest daughter's friend's mom the other day. And then about that time, my wife and older daughter got home from the track meet, and it really upset my older daughter. And then my wife was talking to Mr. Norbeck and like just stunned. And then Mr. Moudry was there talking to me, and it was just crazy. And then Mr. Moudry and Mr. Norbeck, you know, kind of stayed there for, I would say, a good 45 minutes just talking to me and my wife. But that's kind of how it went down. I mean, well, that is how it went down, not kind of. That's how I found out.
Clint Layng joining us here, Jason Walker Show, Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. You've had, I mean, a week now to think about this, but it's unbelievable, Coach, the amount of support. And we've had former players. We had Jace Lewis on yesterday, a great opponent that you coached against in two different sports. And just the support from across the state has been overwhelming, I'm sure.
Yeah, it has. I mean, after, like when I went in the house after, you know, Tim and Mike left, I knew there would be people in my corner, and I knew I'd have quite a bit of support, but it has overexceeded any expectations I ever had. It has absolutely been crazy. My assistant coaches have been great. Coaches from all over the state, all the way to even Dickinson State. Coach Stanton reached out to me, and Coach McCarville reached out to me, all the way to Eureka, Montana. And then, I mean, just all over. Jim Ben from Big Fork, you know, big supporter. I mean, it's impossible for me to thank everyone because there's been so many, but I have written down every person that has reached out to me, and I've thanked them once. And I will be sure to thank them again. And if they ever need anything from me, I'll be there, you know. And former, like you said, former players from Sheridan, Montana, to my former players here, you know, Trace and AJ and Nick went on your show, to players I coached against, Jace Lewis, for example, like you brought up. And, I mean, athletic directors throughout the state, it's been crazy. Like, literally the next day, when I got home, it took me forever to respond to all my texts, emails, phone calls. I mean, it's just been it was nonstop, and I've still been receiving some.
Clint Layng joining us here, Jason Walker Show. How's the conversations with the family the last week been?
You know, it's been pretty good for the most part. We don't talk about it much with our kids around at home. I mean, basically me and my wife have just talked about the overwhelming support we've received. I mean, I've actually been doing pretty good. I mean, with all the support I received, I'm like, wow, this has been amazing. And I can't thank people enough for all the support they've been giving me.
It has been amazing to see the support and talking with you the last week. You know, you're 62-36, I think, in your career. You mentioned the semifinals. You've had 2 losing seasons in, 10 years out there at Jefferson. There's a lot of positives to look at, not only football, but basketball, the kids you teach, the kids you're around. You're a positive influence. And I think that's
why so many people were upset about this.
Yeah, I mean, I think last year was my 11th year coaching football here, and I feel like we've done a lot of good things. And we've had some deep runs in the playoffs. We've won some conference championships, and then the basketball thing. Back when I coached basketball, we won the divisional. We won district titles there. We went to the state tournament twice, and that was a job that I originally took a week before the season even started, because when I first came here, I had planned on I was done with basketball until the situation came up, and then all the kids that played basketball, that played football, they were asking me, "Hey, will you take this? We need somebody, coming up this season." So, it's been a good ride, and I feel good about what we've accomplished, and the most important thing to me is at the end of the day, yes, I want to win every time we take the field or the court or whatever it's been. I want to win that game, but at the end of the day, is what's most important to me is seeing my players be successful people, not only in school but in life and in what they're doing now. And I could give you numerous stories right now of some of the things guys are doing nowadays and the jobs they've got and different things. And that's what's really important to me.
Well, and I think as you've heard the show the last week or so that, we've had your former players on and the such, and, the fact that you and your wife both are successful coaches, successful teachers, successful parents, that community loves you, and you love the community back. You give back, and you've got a state runner-up in basketball this last month with your wife coaching. You've got a defending track, state championship with your wife, and it's just like I said, there's so many positives. And I talked to your former players, and that was one of the things we brought up is you're not just a great positive football coach or teacher. You're building these young men and really young women too for after high school, after college, and you see the success these kids have, whether it's football or not.
Yeah, I try to do the best I can in that aspect. I always, one of the first things I tell my kids at the start of the year is I want to see you guys be good people, most importantly. And I think I've done that, in coaching. I mean, I've coached basketball, I've coached softball, I've coached football, I've played all, different kinds of sports growing up. I mean, I understand that you're not going to please everyone. And there's always going to be, people that don't like you as a coach. I mean, you could name some of the greatest coaches ever to coach any sport, and they've always had some people that maybe always didn't agree with them or didn't like them or whatever. I know it's part of the business, but all in all, I think for the most part, I know for a fact that most people, think I do a good job, and most people have my back, and most people understand what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, and you can see that success, like I said, with, you've got, Nick Winfield is successful in his career, and Trace is doing well, and the guys that we talk, AJ Ekman, but, even, that your kids are a pillar in that community. You basically have raised, 3 daughters in Boulder.
Yeah, we have. When we came here, our kids were young, and now, they're getting older. We're 6th and 7th grade, and then sophomore in high school now, and we've kind of entrenched ourselves here, and we try to do the best job we can, and we've been happy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So this special meeting on Monday, will you get a chance to talk, or do you know anything about it yet?
I honestly don't know too many details right now. I'm sure I'll have a conversation with my administration about how it's going to work. But, some of the things that when this originally went down, like, I have some of my friends where initial reaction is like, well, I mean, heck, there's lots of places you could get a job at if people aren't happy with you or whatever's going on. And my response back to him was, I want to coach this team because the way these kids have went to bat for me and come up to me during school in weight training or whatever it's been, they told me they got my back and they'll fight for me. And when those kids did that, I'm like, well, I'll fight too, man, because ultimately in the long run, Jason, who's ultimately hurt by this? I mean, yeah, I could go get another job probably. I would think. I've had 2 coaches already tell me I have standing offers to be on their staff. But ultimately in the long run is who's hurt is the kids. Yep. And we got some great kids coming back next year. And I do not want to turn my back on them. I mean, and that's my focus right now. We're not going to have a lot of seniors next year, but the ones we have are good, and they're good kids. I mean, Dylan Root, for example, talking to me in the weight room the other day, Jace Oxart, talking to me. And then we have some other seniors that, a little quieter at times, like Johnny Armstrong and Caleb Smartnick, but I know they're supporting me. And Zach Zody's been a big supporter, and those guys are kind of a core senior group next year. And that's who's important to me, is those guys. And I could never have it on my conscience that I walked away from them if I have a chance to rectify this.
Well, it's crazy because I just found out about this meeting about an hour or so ago before our conversation, and it's the word that comes to mind, or the scene that comes to mind, is that scene in Hoosiers when Jimmy Chitwood walks through the door and said, I play, coach stays, he goes, I go. And I think that's what it's going to be on Monday night, is a lot of great community support, including from those kids you just mentioned and the younger kids too.
Yeah. The younger kids have been very supportive too. I've had guys all the way from kids that just played JV special teams to and never even traveled to varsity games come up and talk to me. And it's funny how you bring up that scene in Hoosiers, because I've thought about that scene in that movie a lot, and I've actually watched it a couple times over the last week. And it's my absolute favorite movie scene of any movie of all time, is when Jimmy Chitwood walks in that meeting for Coach Norman Dale. I mean, I could go back and watch that scene time and time again. So I think that I actually had that written down, and I think it's kind of funny that you brought that up.
Yeah, it's just, it hit me and struck me, and I was talking with another friend of mine about it, and it's just, it makes sense. And I honestly think that's what we're going to see, and thankfully it's at the gym and not some little room, because I think that gym's going to be really packed. There might be the fire code has to be reached on Monday night.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people reach out to me, and I've had some coaches that are from not real close, that say they plan on being here. And it's,
wow.
And I don't know, like, you've seen some of the stuff that's happened throughout the state before, and I guess I know that all these guys that have reached out to me, and I'm so thankful, and I'll thank those guys again. And if they ever need anything, I'll help them. I mean, and the other thing is right, I'm more motivated than ever right now, Jason. Like, it's like a fire's been lit, and that's motivated me even more. And I was talking to my assistants about this other day, and they brought it up. I mean, I had a conversation with Coach Rao from Townsend, and he brought it up, like how he knows how motivated we'll be, and I will be. And I'm already a motivated guy anyway. I'm high energy and motivated. If I'm more motivated than before, I mean, that's crazy. But I think our kids are that way too. Just listen to them talk in class all week, and just the amount of support I mean, just the motivation is through the roof for me right now, to be honest with you.
Well, I was going to say, as we talked to Clint Layng, the Jefferson High coach here, Jason Walker Show, and I've talked with people about this for 8 years that I've covered you, is I don't know anybody more passionate, more energetic, more anything, and positive on that side of it too. But man, if you're talking about more, holy cow, watch out Class B next year.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I am. I love football, and I love a lot of sports, and I love working with kids, and I love coaching. And, it's always been a passion of mine, is working with kids and seeing kids succeed, not only in football, but in life, and that's, I don't know, that's just one of my number one things, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, I see
I'm going to call it right now on this April 26th that Jefferson High, if you're back as head coach, wins state next year, just based off of this. Speaking of football, the NFL draft starts Thursday night, 2 days. Where does Troy Anderson go?
Okay, I study the NFL draft a lot, and I look into it. I read about it. I love it. I watch every pick. So anyway, I've had this conversation with Coach Padmos, one of my assistants, because, he played with Troy.
Right.
I think he's going to go in the third round. Okay. I do think there's a chance to go in the second, but my prediction is early to mid-third right now is what I see.
Okay. Why is that?
Just, I think he improved his stock, like at the combine and the run the Bobcats had, and I think he's climbed draft boards, and I could easily see him going in the second, but the reason I'm saying third is there's always going to be that, he's FCS level, didn't play in the SEC or the Big 12 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I just think that, and then there's a lot of good players in the draft right now, but I think he's definitely climbed the draft board. There's no question about it. I'll bet you at the start of the year he was 5th, 6th round probably, something like that, and he's really made a jump. And I'll tell you what, I would love to see the Steelers pick him up in the third round if it was a possibility, because inside linebacker is a position where they could definitely use some help. I know that much.
We're talking with Clint Layng about the NFL draft now here on the Jason Walker Show. All right, this has kind of been, the talk has been maybe the weakest draft in a long time as far as quarterbacks. What pick is the first quarterback taken?
Well, I just hope it's not the Steelers at number 20. Because I don't want them to reach for a quarterback. I don't, but it's a position that gets overvalued, and there's going to be some taken in the first round. It's just how it is, and how it works with that position. But I think the spots to watch for is the Panthers at 6, and then unfortunately maybe Pittsburgh might be looking in that first round at 20 or moving up a little bit. But I hope they stay pat and take the best player available personally. Okay.
I asked Jace Lewis this yesterday, and he really didn't know. Where does the Elkhorn rivalry come from?
I listened to Jace talk yesterday, and I don't know. I don't think it really comes from us as a coaching staff on either side or the kids. I think because we're both in the Elkhorn area, I guess. I'm not sure who originally brought it up, but like Jay said, he feels like Manhattan was a bigger rival for them. And when we play Townsend, I look at it as it's going to be a good game. It's going to be physical. It's going to be tough, and the kids are going to play hard on both sides, both coaching staffs, a lot of respect for each other. And it's always a fun, hard-fought game. I mean, last year's game came down to the last play of the game. Mm-hmm. And we've had some battles, but like Jay said, there's respect amongst both teams and a lot of friends from Townsend to the Boulder kids. And, I consider Coach Rao, Coach Horn, all those guys friends or, competitors, whatever you want to say. There's just a lot of respect. So I've never looked at it as a hated rival, I guess. It's just we know what that game's going to be about.
So who's Boulder's biggest rival or Jefferson's biggest rival then?
I don't know. Like, you could say Whitehall's been a rival at times, and they're even closer than Townsend. I mean, you maybe them, Manhattan, but there's a lot. There's some respect there back and forth amongst kids and coaches too. So I don't know. I would probably say maybe Whitehall's even a little more of a rival for us than Townsend is, if you really want to get into the rivalry talk,
Well, I was thinking when he brought it up yesterday, Jace, was maybe a Huntley, maybe a Fairfield, a Loyola. I mean, Class B is so tight that, I mean, everybody's a rival really when you play each other because every game matters. Not that it doesn't in other classes, but I mean, there's so many great powerhouses over the last decade in Class B that everybody is good,
Yeah. We've played Huntley in the playoffs twice. We played Malta in the playoffs. We played Loyola. The one year we were 10-2, and our only 2 losses of the season was a regular season loss to Loyola, and then the semis to Loyola when they were on their back-to-back state championship run. I don't know as far as like rivals and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of important games out there. I was talking to Jim Ben about this stuff, and generally amongst Class B, there's a lot of respect, for one another, whether it's coaching staffs, players, kids. I've grown to have a ton of respect for Coach Duchesne at Florence, and that team he had last year was absolutely unreal. I mean, probably the best team I've ever coached against since I've been in Class B.
All right, I got to know this, and I had a great question, and then it just escaped my mind, but that happens a lot. I can't even remember it now. We get to talking about, other great teams in Class B, and I completely space out. But man, it's been a pleasure to chat with you. Thank you for coming on the show, and, keep up the positivity. We're behind you 100%, as you know. And I really look forward to Monday night, that special meeting at Jefferson High. Everybody needs to show up and show their support for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Jason. I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate your support. And the last thing I want to say is thank you to everyone that has reached out to me. And especially thank you to Mike Moudry and Tim Norbeck, my superintendent and principal, for how they've helped me get through this. I mean, I really can't thank people enough, from former players, current players, players from other towns, and to coaches from all over the state of Montana, to be honest with you.
Well, like I said, good luck on Monday night, and we'll stay in touch, Coach.
Okay, thank you. Sounds good.
There you go. The exclusive Clint Layng first interview since his dismissal. Again, Monday night, Jefferson High Gym, 7 p.m. A special board meeting has been called. There's so many. I mean, there's hundreds of letters of support. So I hope the board rectifies this. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back, and Mya Hansen will join us when we return. This segment brought to you by Ruckers Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Ruckers Furniture. 1010 Dearborn, Helena. Future Bronco for Boise State. Mya Hansen next. Hang on.
Store-wide savings is what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Ruckers Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Ruckers, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $289. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Ruckers Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients, along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com.
Strength, beauty, grit, superior craftsmanship. Our homes have it all. At Montana Custom Log Homes, if you can dream it, we can build it. With 3 divisions and over 50 years experience, we've got you covered. From a showcase home to a small cabin, we make your vision a reality. Because every cowboy wants a castle for his queen. Montana Custom Log Homes, crafting homes that last for generations.
Father's Day is coming fast, and what more would that great dad in your life want than a full detail from Auto Concepts? Or maybe he would just prefer a lift kit. It's also camping season, and now is the perfect time to outfit that rig with a winch just in case. Auto Concepts is your home for everything for your vehicle, including updating your car stereo system too. Auto Concepts also has gift certificates for dad or yourself. Visit AutoConceptsHelena.com. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, It feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at CAFÉ ZYDECO. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, CAFÉ ZYDECO has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. CAFÉ ZYDECO will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. CAFÉ ZYDECO is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back. Final segment, Jason Walker Show. Make sure you get on the schedule now for Nitro Green for all of your lawn, tree, and pest needs. Nitro Green will handle it all year long. Walk-off coming up on this day in history. And we check in now with Billings Central senior, who's going off to play college basketball at Boise State. Mya Hansen joins us now here on the Jason Walker Show to talk about reopening that recruiting process for a second time. Well, a third time, really. Well, it'd be a third time. But she joins us now on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. All right, Mya, haven't seen you since the state championship game last month up in Missoula, but how's life?
It's been pretty good, yeah. I've been a little crazy busy, just especially graduating this year, and then on top of that, changing colleges. So, yeah it's definitely been busy.
Yeah, third college, and you still haven't graduated high school yet.
Yes, yeah. I mean, hasn't been the most ideal recruitment process, but here I am.
Oh, we're talking with Mya Hansen, the Billings Central standout. All right, so you had a clause in your Butler deal to where if Coach was let go, you could be released, and that's exactly what happened. About a week, really, after the state championship game, Butler lets Coach Godlecki go, and your decision-making has to come back into play. So take me through this.
Yeah, it was definitely a crazy couple of weeks during that time, yeah. So I found out that the head coach was let go. So it was definitely a kind of eye-opener to figure out what my decisions were. Because, I mean, when I commit to a program, I definitely commit to that coach because they run that program. And so the coach is a huge part of it just for playing-wise and then also just relationships. So it was definitely a big change to hear that. So I just kind of thought it through, and what I did was I waited throughout the whole process of that coaching change just to kind of meet the new coach just to see if it would be someone or something I would want to still be a part of. But during that time as well, in that middle moment, I kind of just wanted to open up my options again too, because there were some other great schools out there that I was kind of interested in, and I knew they had a little bit of interest in me from previous times before I signed to Butler. So once I came to that decision, I decided to reopen my recruitment, and that's when it all happened pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, in a few weeks, it all kind of came together again. How frustrating is this? Because, like I said, I mean, 3 colleges, and you're still a senior in high school. So how frustrating has this whole process been the last couple of seasons?
Yeah, it's definitely been crazy. I will say that. I mean, it's just been difficult. So I was planning on going to one college, and I was set in stone on that decision, and a lot of things just kept changing. So, yeah, it is pretty difficult to go through this process because the recruiting process is not the best process to be a part of, that's for sure. It's just chaotic, just trying to find a place where you fit and best, and kind of more so just thinking about your future. So it was definitely difficult reopening it 2 times, especially more than once. But yeah, so I would say, well, because I'm that person too that likes to know my future, likes to have a set plans everything out. So it was definitely difficult to have that uncertainty of where I'm going and still trying to figure that decision out.
Why Boise? Mya, why Boise State?
Oh, why Boise State?
Yeah.
I just loved it. I mean, I went on a visit there once I opened up my recruitment, and just everything about that. Just first showing up in the city, just in Boise. It's such an amazing city. I could just see me there. It's kind of like Billings area, except just a bigger city type. You still have that river that runs through it. Then you have kind of the mountains surrounding it. So it's just a beautiful place in general. And then on top of that, just being with the team during that time, knowing the coaches, it's just felt like that family atmosphere and a competitive and winning atmosphere, which is even better. So you can tell that the coaches there and everybody a part of that program wants to win and wants to compete. So it's just a great atmosphere to be around, to kind of have that comforting feeling that you're part of a family, you're part of another piece of you that's out there. And then also knowing that you're going to be working hard every day and becoming a better player each day.
You bring up family a couple of times there, and your family is very important. How important were they in this decision?
Yeah, it was definitely a big one. I will say my parents are a lot happier right now, especially since it's closer to home. So they're loving it too, so they can come to a lot of games and stuff. But yeah, I'm lucky because it's far enough away where I can stay away from it a little bit, but not too far that they can come if I need anything.
There you go. It's only about an 8-hour drive, and just a little hop, skip, and a jump on a prop plane, I guess. So, Coach Petrino is an assistant at Boise. How big was that decision as well, or how much did that factor in?
Yeah, we were just talking about that, how it's kind of a full circle, first starting at U of M and then now tracing it back to Boise State. But yeah, just knowing him is a huge piece of this whole recruitment process and everything, just because I know him so well, and he's a great family friend as well too. So it's just comforting knowing too that I personally know someone in that program. And Mike is just a great guy in general. Yeah. He's just there for you in your life as well as on the court. So it's just very nice knowing he's there. All
right. So when do you leave?
I'll be leaving June 29th. Okay. We'll have summer classes for 5 weeks, and then we'll have our workouts and practices during that time.
Is this the final college? I got to ask that.
Yes. I would have said that was the first two, maybe two, but yeah, this is the last one.
Okay, good. Mya Hansen joining us, Mike Miller, State Farm Hotline. Are you going to redshirt, play right away? What's the talk in Boise?
I think it's mostly playing right away is what we've been talking about. But yeah, coming in and being another guard factor, a point guard factor that they would like, that's what we've been talking about. But you never really know until you get into the season, that's for sure too. Because you have, at the college level, you have to earn every spot and every minute you play. So more so I just focus on getting in the gym and working as hard as I can just to earn those spots.
You know, I go back to that state tournament, and the first game of the tournament, it was 4-2 or 5-4, I guess, at the end of the first quarter. And then I brought it up on the NFHS broadcast that you have the ability, Mya, to just score when you want and get that needed bucket. But it's impressive to watch. It really is. And I just love watching your game.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Yeah, definitely a lot of time trying to put into that, but
yeah, that, I go back to that first game, and man, it was ugly, that first quarter.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You could tell that was two teams too, because we actually traveled that same day. So it was kind of a hard little jump to get over from traveling to Missoula that same day and then having to play right away. But you could tell it was both two teams trying to get used to the court, get used to the feeling of the state tournament. So it was more so nice to just kind of get that first quarter of the way. But yeah, it was not pretty for anybody who was watching.
Oh my gosh. No, I'm sitting there going, it's 4-2. And then I can't remember who hit the 3 at the buzzer to give you guys the lead. But man, at the end of that first quarter, I'm sitting there going, I turned off the mic and I turned to the guys and I'm like, what are we watching?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was feeling poor people watching this right now probably know what they wanted to come see. But
oh, man.
Yeah.
Do you do track? I forget.
No, I don't. Yeah,
Okay.
I decided to take this season off too, just to focus on more so lifting and just getting in the gym. But yeah. And running's not my strong suit either. So if I'm running, I'm going to be running after a ball or running to score a layup or something.
Yeah, no, exactly. Short spurts in basketball are better than runs in track.
Exactly.
All right. So I think I asked you this a year ago, but what's your major going to be?
I think I'm going to still do health sciences, but I'm either going towards physical therapy or occupational therapy. That's been another topic conversation that I've been thinking about.
Gotcha. Well, I just I want to talk to you after you actually play a college game, and I don't want to have these conversations where we, like the last year where, okay, now where are you going?
Exactly.
Can we stay?
I'd rather not have those either.
Oh my gosh. Hey, real quick, how many other schools after you left or got out of the Butler deal and decommitted did contact you?
There was about 3 or 4 that contacted me directly, and then just kind of a couple more off the side who were just interested. But yeah, Boise was definitely one of the number one that I really had major interest in when they contacted me.
Was it important to stay D1?
No, any level is fine for me. As long as it's a competitive atmosphere in a place I'm going to. Carroll here is a great school. Rocky here is a great school, both very competitive programs, and NAI is just a competitive atmosphere in general too. So yeah, it definitely didn't matter too much of the division where I wanted to go, but more so just where I felt the best fit.
Well, I know you wanted to get away from the family, but you could have been, the next India Fly because she left Butler and had a good run in Rocky. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You were going to replace her out there. But now you get to go to Boise and enjoy, like you said, it's a great city. It's a great area of Idaho. And we wish you the best of luck.
Well, thank you so much.
That is Mya Hansen joining us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. Now, all of our guests appear via Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. It's not just a bundle. It's your home, it's your auto, it's your life. Mike understands. I get a hold of Mike Miller State Farm in Helena today. On this day in history, it is April the 26th. It is National Audubon Day. It is Help a Horse Day, along with Kids and Pets Day, Pretzel Day, and National Richter Scale Day. Charles Richter born on this date. Pretzel Day. And I always go back to this. My 40th birthday, my wife, we were dating at the time. She had a work trip out in D.C., so she takes me to D.C. for my birthday. And we have a great dinner at this Italian joint that we had seen on one of those travel shows, food shows. And it was fantastic. Down by the river, it was just awesome. So, the Potomac. So later, that next year, her 30th birthday came up, and I was doing radio for Carol, and her birthday's in February, so she always gets the shaft when it comes to her birthday, kind of. So for my 40th, she takes me to Washington, D.C. For her 30th, I took her up to Havre, and she, for her birthday dinner, got a pretzel with cheese. It's a good trade-off, I thought, right? She was happy. It's really all that matters. On this date in 1905, the Cubs' Jack McCarthy becomes the only major leaguer to throw out 3 runners at the plate in one game, all ends of a double play. 1912, the first home run hit at Fenway Park, Hugh Bradley of the Red Sox. 1920, ice hockey makes its Olympic debut at Antwerp. Frank Fredrickson scored 7 goals as Canada beat Sweden 12-1 in the gold medal match. 1961, Roger Maris would hit the first of his 61 home runs in 1961. 1962, no-hitter, Red Sox, Bill Montebuquet with the no-hitter over the White Sox. That is on this day in history.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
The walk-off presented by CAFÉ ZYDECO, where the Big Easy meets the Big Sky. Make sure you stop in this week for lunch or dinner and grab some great Cajun food, the best Cajun food this side of New Orleans. We learned today from Clint Layng, it's all about the positivity. He's staying positive, and there is a special board meeting coming up Monday night, 7 p.m., Jefferson High. And I think the board is hopefully going to do the right thing. Lots of positivity, lots of great support for Clint Layng and his family, and we wish him the best. If you missed anything from today, including our exclusive interview with Clint Layng, you can go to jasonwalkershow.com. We also learned that CMR's Brian Crosby has resigned as the head basketball girls coach. Great run, and he's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a good coach, but a better guy. Kind of like Coach Layng, kind of like a lot of the high school coaches in this state that are just fantastic people in all sports. So there you go. The walk-off presented by CAFÉ ZYDECO, where the Big Easy meets the Big Sky. Make sure you join us tomorrow. Tomorrow, Alex Asherman, that's what she said. We'll talk about Troy Anderson, the NFL draft coming up. Ryan Swenson set to join us, Mike Miller as well, Capital softball coach. Looking forward to tomorrow in the Above All Handyman Services Man Cave. If you need anything done, get a hold of them. They will get it done. We'll see you tomorrow, 4 o'clock, Jason Walker Show. Have yourself a terrific Tuesday.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.